for that car, and if you're not paying that, they have something. Now, is that car going to fully pay off what you owe? Maybe not, but there is some sort of collateral. Same thing with the house. Credit cards, the bank is giving you these things without anything back. This is unsecured, and this is where a lot of people get in trouble here. So, none of you guys have credit cards, but I want you to take a look at something here. This is Bank of America. This is U.S. Bank. And I actually have an OnPoint account too. This is ridiculous. I am keeping financial institutions in business with all these things. Okay. Which one of these guys is not a credit card? Yes?
Top one.
Top one's not a credit card. Good guess. Yes?
On the bottom one?
Bottom one's not. Why would you say that?
There's a little MasterCard symbol.
No, that one has MasterCard too.
Yeah. The middle one.
Middle. Okay. It's really difficult. If I got this closer to you guys, you'd see it says debit card. What I want to say, so these are credit cards and these are debit cards. Does it really? Okay, I was actually doing this in a middle school. And I was showing my cards like this, and one little kid in the back is like scribbling something down. And I was like, no way. I go back there, and that guy had written almost all of my numbers down. You don't want people to see these numbers, because you could actually go buy something online. So now that I said that, I'm going to put them away.
Did he actually, did you take that away from him?
Oh, yeah. I was impressed, but I wasn't that impressed.
Personal Finance did that to me last year. But you didn't get the 3-digit code.
That's important. That's important. So, this is what I usually do. Either that or I just cover up some of it like this. Okay.
That's actually really terrible.
It's horrible, but the kid was pretty quick because he was like way in the back. So I was a little bit impressed. Okay. Why am I asking you guys this? Well, it's easier to get into if we understand the difference. This is debit and these are credit. You can tell me the difference between a debit card and a credit card. Yes, sir.
Debit card holds the money that you already have. And credit card, you just borrow money.
That's exactly it. Debit card is your money. It's your money. If I swipe that thing, and I swipe it for $50 to go get gas, which actually I do need gas, but hopefully it's not even $50. I swipe that thing, that's my money. It's just like writing a check. It's just like going to the bank and withdrawing money. That's on my debit card. Even though it has the fun little MasterCard symbol down here, this is access to my money. Now, I can swipe this thing for $100 and only have 75 in my bank account. It might go through. But then I'm going to be charged with fees, and I know this isn't a banking session, but you guys learned that. So you're only supposed to use the money you have in your account for this thing. Oh, I've never had a bank account at Bank of America or at U.S. Bank. But they said, Dave, you're a good guy. No, right, I'm a good guy. They said, no, they really don't care if I'm a good guy or not. But they do care if I am reliable at paying back. So I have decent credit, so it was pretty easy for me to get these. This thing is the one I got in 1996. I got it when I was in college because some guy was sitting with his little table. He had a bunch of Frisbees on his table, and I was going to school down in San Diego. Beautiful weather outside. It's like, man, I'd rather be playing Frisbee than going to school. Well, that was point long.
You did?
Yeah, so we can talk after or sometime.
You have a break after this.
Oh, there we go. We can do that. So it was a gorgeous day. It's like, I want one of those Frisbees. How do I get it? And he said, they're free. And I'm like, great. So I grabbed it. And of course, it wasn't free. He said, you need to sign this thing and fill out this form. I knew exactly what I was doing. I wasn't stupid. I was like, but sure, I got a free Frisbee, which was a really crappy Frisbee anyway. It broke like later that day. I got it. And then this credit card comes in the mail. And this, I guess, is a good transition. And I need to keep my story short because our time is going up. But I got this in the mail. And do you think this came smashed onto a piece of paper with a bunch of other information? You think I read that other information? No. I ripped this thing off, called that number, and was out the door. So, what should I have asked? We just went through a list of what we need to know when we're dealing with loans. Now I want to go through what we need to know when we're dealing with one of these credit cards. Some of the things I was saying. What do we want to ask? What are these questions? What are these things we need to know before we start using our credit cards? Yes, ma'am?
The interest rate?
Yes, you still have to know what your APR is. Now, this one, with a loan, they're going to basically be advertising that to you, telling it's going to be big print. APR, they might vary it a little bit with the credit cards. You got to know. You got to know. What else?
The limit.
Yes. I didn't know either of these things. Okay. Limit. Basically, credit card companies trust you to a degree. Thank goodness mine didn't trust me all that much. I'll tell you a story about that. APR, you need to know your limit. There's one main thing you need to know otherwise, and it's different than with a loan. Well, no, there's some loans, and this is where it's touching on. Are there any kind of fees attached? You know, I think more and more now we're going to be seeing credit cards with fees. And if you use them, sometimes they waive the fees. My credit cards don't have any fees, thank goodness. But basically, a fee is just on top of what you're already paying in interest. If you don't use it at all, you still actually get a fee and you have to pay to keep it there. Well, if you can still find it, it's better to find one without any fee because, like I said yesterday, if you have an account and you keep it open, you have a long standing and never use it, well, if there's no fees attached, you can just kind of leave it there. Well, if there's a fee attached, you have to keep paying that fee. But there's probably going to be fees on a lot of ours. But if you know these things, you're golden. And you can manage to it. And you don't just start using this as income. You use this when you know you can pay it off. I had a situation where I moved to London for a year. I needed to buy a computer to do my work over there. I knew my work was going to pay for that computer, but I wouldn't get paid for about 2 months. So I used my credit card because I knew that I already had signed the contract with the job. I knew that they were going to pay me for it. So I put, a $1,500 computer on a credit card. It scared me at the time, but I knew I had a plan on paying that off. It works in those situations when we have a plan to pay it off. Now, you think in college, when I opened this thing up, I had a plan? No. So here's my deal. I got this thing, and within, I think, a week and a half, I had this thing maxed out. So I'm in San Diego, beautiful weather. What do you think I went and bought? A big item. What?
Oh, big ass.
Yeah. Surfboard. That would have made sense, right? No, I bought a snowboard. I was in San Diego and I bought a snowboard. I don't know why. I still have the snowboard. Quite outdated, but I still love it. But I bought a snowboard. And so obviously I wasn't going to use that. I went out to dinner one time. The second time I went out to dinner, my date ended up having to pay because I maxed out my credit card. So you guys can see. I went back and read that information. I realized I had an 18% credit card. That was my APR. That's high. You might see them like that. So, I'm hoping you guys can find one under. But that's where a lot of them start. Try to find something under 18%. My limit, thank God they didn't trust me at all. My limit was $300. So you can tell my snowboard wasn't all that great at the time, and my dinner was Denny's. It was like a Sherry's type thing. So, listen, I'm okay. My fees, thank goodness, were none. So I learned that quick. I was working at Jamba Juice, so that stupid $300 took me forever to pay off because it really wasn't $300. You guys know that once you start adding in this APR, I ended up spending probably $400 to $500 before I had that thing paid off. But it was a good lesson to learn. And thank goodness it was a small limit. And I thought that I was pretty responsible. I just wasn't. I thought I was, but I wasn't. If you know these things, and you can manage yourself to them, then you guys are cool. And you guys are set. Now, we really do need to wrap up. We only have 3 or 4 minutes left. And we went through some things really quickly. And what I'm going to do, yes, this is what I'm going to do really quick. I want us just to look at page 3. This is a credit card thing. I just want us to pretend. I wish we had more time because I have this whole little thing we go through. But page 3, here's my 18% APR on my credit card. This is Visa.com. We bought $2,000. So let's pretend our limit was $4,000. We went out and bought a flat screen for $2,000. Well, we don't have the money to pay it off. So we just pay the minimum. We're only actually going to pay $35 per month. Why don't you guys look down at line number F. How many months is that going to take you to pay it off? 131 months. How many years is that? It's almost 11 years to pay this thing off. Your TV is not working in 11 years. If it is, you're thinking, this is the biggest, craziest thing I don't want. 11 years to pay that off. Look at line number H. 2,574. Is that the original cost of the TV, the 2,000 plus interest? No, that's just interest. You're paying more in interest than you did for the TV. Your total TV was not $2,000. It was $4,574. So credit cards can be scary if you're not planning for them. Now, page 4 is somebody who planned for it. It's still 18%, still $2,000. But instead of $35 per month, you realize it's a big charge. You're going to put $200 per month down. It paid off in 11 months, which is a heck of a lot better than 11 years. And you're only paying $183 in interest.